Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your week 4 Monday morning breakfast bite. So this week, very little homework because all you have is a discussion forum, but we do have our midterm that is opening on Thursday and closing on Sunday. So please do mark your calendars for that. And we're also going to be studying this week about investor protection, ethics, and accountancy. So when you are looking at the material this week, you're going to be looking at it from an ethical standpoint, and that's why I have those three segments of law together, because when we look at investor protection, when we look at accountancy, we also are always looking at ethics and our fiduciary responsibilities to our clients. Because as you will see, when you think about fiduciary responsibility, or when you think about having a relationship with a client, you always have to think that you should be acting in the best interest of that client at all times. And it goes back to our theory of agency, the law of agency, which we studied, you should have studied in your lower division class and had a kind of look back the first couple of weeks of class regarding that material. When we talk about agency law, what we mean is we have a principal and we have an agent, and the agent owes a duty of responsibility to the principal because the agent is there to always act on the principal's behalf. So from that standpoint, that means that we have this fiduciary duty when we're acting on behalf of someone else, and that duty is to always act in the best interest of that other person who is the principal. We see it every day in our lives, in our professional lives, when we talk about our employment relationships. Our employer is our principal, and we, as the employee, we are the agent of that principal, that employer. And we have a duty to always act in that employer's best interest. If we breach that duty, we're saying we're breaching that fiduciary duty, because that best interest duty we classify under the law as a fiduciary duty. And so that fiduciary duty is a duty we always have to keep in the back of our mind. With investor protection, with accountancy, we have a relationship with our client. That means we cannot breach that duty, but we also have a relationship to the public. When we talk about investor protection, we're not just talking about a relationship necessarily with one person, but we're talking in general to the public as a whole, or to particular entities, because we have certain information that we may hold, and if we divulge that information outside to the public, then we are breaching our fiduciary duty to our principal, and as a result, that may affect our principal's earnings when they go to sell their shares. For example, if the principal is planning to merge with another entity, and you have that information, that's considered insider information. If you give that information to an outside source, or even if you utilize that information for your own benefit, what you are doing is you are breaching your fiduciary duty to your employer, the principal, because now what might happen is that may lower the value of the stocks and affect that merger, negatively impacting both the stock value and the potential terms of that merger. So you have to think about those things when you are an employee of another entity, or even if you're a CEO, it doesn't matter, because as a CEO you are an employee of that principal, and you always have to act in that principal's best interest. So keep those things in mind this week. Remember, you have the midterm again. It opens on Thursday and closes on Sunday. And you do have a discussion forum this week. It's a current event discussion forum, and I have the current event evaluation document in the homework folder, so take a look at that. Follow that. You don't copy and paste it. You don't have to attach it, to your discussion posting, your initial posting, but just kind of follow that format so you can make sure that you provide enough depth in your initial discussion to really give us an understanding of what your current event is pertaining to and what it's about. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to contact me. You guys have a great week 4.